For some of us, if we were to think about or describe the pit moment of our life, the word would just simply be disappointment. We have these emotions of sadness or annoyance or displeasure over how life has played out up to this point. Like maybe you had these really grand plans for what life would look like after high school or after college, and then you fast forward all these years, and that's not how things worked out. Or maybe it's not what you didn't get in life, it's the fact that you got everything you ever wanted in life. All of the things that you thought would ultimately fulfill and satisfy you. The perfect job, the right salary, the dream house, the vacations, the dream girl or guy. But ultimately, they didn't fulfill you, and they sure didn't last as long as you thought they'd last. Maybe this isn't the case 100% of the time, but I think when it comes to these emotions of disappointment in our life, I think we can trace them back to maybe one of two things. The first being this: unmet expectations and false assumptions. This could look like a number of different things, but maybe it's expectations and assumptions about God. When we look at our world, there are so many false views of who God is and how he operates that don't line up with who he's revealed himself to be in Scripture. And so this could look a number of different ways, but maybe it's an instance of this. Well, God's the one who's supposed to take care of me, which means he's always just supposed to make sure I'm happy and comfortable. And so I type in the right prayers, I say the right things, and he just gives me everything that I could ever want. And then when God didn't operate that way, it made you pretty angry, pretty frustrated. And maybe that's not your fault, because maybe somewhere along the way someone told you, like, no, that's who God is, and that's how he operates and works. Maybe it's not with God, maybe it's expectations and assumptions of others. Like you look at the relationships in your lives, family, friends, a significant other, and really you've come to this place of like relying on others who are flawed and imperfect to ultimately fill all of the holes in your heart, or always be there for you and never let you down in any way or disappoint you. And then when that inevitably doesn't happen, where does that leave you? Maybe it's expectations and assumptions about life. Like maybe for some of us, we just grew up with these ideas that life was just gonna be normal and good, no major issues or setbacks, like always up and to the right. And then we stepped into the real world and we realized that doesn't always happen. Maybe it's not expectations and assumptions, maybe it's idolatry. Like maybe you don't wanna acknowledge this or you don't even realize this, but something or someone in your life has taken the place of God on the throne of your heart. And that person or that thing becomes the object of your attention and your focus, whether it's wealth and comfort and lifestyles and vacations and status and influence and relationships and sex and happiness and self. Please hear me in this. There's nothing inherently wrong with desiring a good life that's marked by enjoying and delighting in God's creation and the blessings that he's given us. But if those things become distractions from God's will, like we talked about last week, or if those things start to well up in us, these feelings of disappointment, we don't want to suppress those emotions and feelings. No, we want to like take a hold of them and analyze them and look at them as like these warning lights on the dashboards of our heart.